Welcome back to the Hot Diggity Dog Read to Your Dog at Home series. Today we'll be reading chapter 18 where things are getting pretty scary. Can you find the Babayaga? Can you find Humboldt? Well, let's see what happens. Humboldt woke to the sound of metal scraping against metal. This was the third morning of captivity, the longest time he had ever spent inside, and he was feeling weak. He pressed his ear against the door to determine what the strange noise was. He tried the doorknob. It opened. He tiptoed out of his room and took a slow, deep breath. The house smelled of cat. He padded toward the irritating sound. She was in the kitchen, cleaning a pair of metal tongs. She hadn't noticed him yet. He had never seen her in daylight before. The first thing he noticed about the Baba Yaga was her mouth, or more accurately, the lack of one. Where her mouth should have been was an empty space. Her lips were but a tiny sliver, as if sewn shut. She had a huge forehead, wide cheekbones, eyes that were a pale smoky green with glints of black, and a nose that was twisty and turny. It went left, then right, and then changed its mind and dropped straight downward. At that very moment, her nose twitched, and she turned to look at him. "Oh, I thought I smelled something unusual. Did you sleep well?" she asked. "Not particularly," replied Humboldt. "What was that grating sound I heard?" "Oh, come, I'm sure you're dying to look around." The kitchen was small and dark, with spatters of grease on the walls. There were hundreds of steel drawers, with a label on each one. Humboldt couldn't make out the squiggly black words. The handwriting was terrible, and the spelling atrocious. She nudged him forward and laughed. "Have a closer look." Long teeth. One drawer was labeled, another especially long teeth. Humboldt recoiled in horror. The drawer was open. He peered into its darkness, but couldn't make out what was inside. "What are you staring at, troll?" The way she said troll gave him a gulpy feeling, like when you see a large bird swallow a fish whole. "What's in that drawer?" Humboldt asked. "Equipment." The Baba Yaga's eyes brightened. The little glints of black shimmered. A positive gaiety overtook her. She hopped on one foot and then another. "Let me show you around." Humboldt tried to look enthused. "Splendid idea." She led him by the paw into the living room. On the way, he noticed a note on the broom closet. "Must not eat troll." If you look carefully on the broom closet, you might be able to read it. See how good? Check out the Baba Yaga's spelling. Humboldt looked around. As far as he knew, he was the only troll here. So who was the note for? If she was considered eating him, she could at least spell troll properly. They entered a large room that had a heavy odor of musty rain gear and sardine tins. The room was cluttered with those strange cats. They stared as if with one great eye. "What's wrong with the cats?" he asked. "Oh, the cats. Oh, well, I did a spell, but I guess it wasn't perfect." "What happened?" "I used to have real cats, but they wouldn't stay. They just insisted on disappearing." The Baba Yaga's lips tightened a little. "Maybe I'm not that easy to live with. Or maybe it was the food. I did a spell to try and keep them near, but something went wrong." She pointed to a tattered book. "I think possibly I read the spell wrong. Possibly. Oh, but never mind." She quickened her step as they passed a closed, heavy oak door. She pushed Humboldt in front of her. "Mustn't stop here, mustn't stop here. The room mustn't get us. What's in there? You must never go in there, she snapped. Her lip quivered. That, she said, each word dropping from her mouth like a black stone, is the room of galloping darkness. Humboldt stepped toward the door to investigate. Has anybody ever been in there? Come away from there! She yanked Humboldt by his paw and steered him back into the kitchen. So, aren't you curious what's in the drawers? I'm not sure. He wished he had his nightcap with him. Well, I'll tell you. Instruments. Her final consonants sprang from her lips like little bullets wrapped in spittle. It was as if she'd gone to speech lessons and stayed too long. Instruments? I didn't know you were musical, Humboldt said. Upon consideration, he decided that outright flattery might prolong his lifespan. How lovely for you to have a special talent. Humboldt's eyes fell on a note stuck to the breadboard. No troll to be consumed on this promises, it said in her spidery handwriting. She had the right idea, he thought. Wasn't it fairly obvious? Why did she keep reminding herself? On the kitchen counter was a small bottle filled with green liquid and labeled antacid for overconsumption of troll. And it looked like it had already been opened. What was too much troll? Now that was a matter of opinion. There was a dreary thought. Things were heating up, so to speak. And, oh, there's a knock at the door. Let's see who's here. Oh, my goodness. Who has come to meet everybody? I'll let you guess who this is. And in the meanwhile, cheerio from the Hot Diggity Dog. Read to the dog series. Hop on board for the next chapter. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.